3, 2, 1. What's up, Wide Flank world? This is the mini club show of Wide Flank.
Mini club number 2.
Number 2.
You don't know what we're talking about, you're screwed.
Number 1. We all know what number 1 means, right?
Pee-pee.
And number 2?
Poo-poo.
Oh! Welcome to Mini Club. It's the program of Wide Flank where Alon and Sean basically figure out what to cover in Game Club in an interactive, playful, play-centric way.
Incredible. Call to action. Interactive.
Yo.
Get on Discord. Vote on what game we played. 30...
Call to action, colon.
Yeah, call to action, colon. Vote for what game you want us to cover in depth. We played, for me, it was like under 30 minutes, I think, of each of these games.
Dragged my ass with this mini club.
We play enough to just barely to understand what's going on.
There's plenty to say about it. We get 10 minutes to talk about each game, and at the end of that 10 minutes, we each get a minute to not even make our case, just sort of run our mouths. I love the run our mouth part because I get to do a whole shtick.
I don't know if we mentioned this on Mini Club 1, but the sort of part of the origin of this idea was that you can refund Steam games if you played less than 2 hours and it's within 14 days of purchase.
And
so you can buy a game, play a little bit, send it back if it's not the Game Club. Bang.
Boom. But also when trying to prepare for this episode, I found a thread on Steam, on the Steam forums, that was like, if you do it too much, they'll like ban. They won't allow you to do refunds anymore.
I didn't know that.
We'll find out, dear listener.
Find out.
And it also came to bear because I left one of the games we're going to be talking about running for 75 minutes, so I only had 45 minutes within which to ultimately refund.
So we always start with the High Council, our Patreon subscribers. First,
come on,
one of the 5 games. Sorry, that's going on the soundboard.
Can I talk? Can I talk?
Yeah.
Yeah. We always start with one of the high counts. I don't even know why I was interrupting. Welcome to podcasting.
Yeah, it's funny. We need to get a fucking studio. Who's got a studio for me and Sean in Brooklyn?
Who can produce this for
we can just
$50?
Yeah, I just want to sit on a couch, look you in the eyes. We should be potting together.
Oh, the vibes, dude. The vibes would be so different. We'd be slapping each other, going, stop. What the first pick is by the High Council. Wait, no, but we have to.
What's the High Council, Sean?
Hold on. That's what I was going to interrupt you to talk about.
Okay, great.
Come on down. If you, dear listener, want to join the ranks of the High Council, you got to pay us money via the Patreon pay service.
Yes. Patreon.com/wideflank.
If you come to patreon.com/wideflank, you give us cold hard cash. You get access to a special Discord channel called the High Council. And in that channel, you get to tell us what games you want us to cover. And there's a special show that's only on Patreon, but that's not what this is about. Yeah. Point is, High Council has chosen the first game that we're going to be talking about today. And we're not going to say that game yet because, Alon, you and I have some unfinished business, which is...
I'm really nervous about it.
This is experimental. I've got a whole plan set up. All right, here's what it is, folks. Alon and I, we didn't really figure out... Last time we recorded this show, we just chose the games in a random order. This time, we're going to try to align in real time with a 5-minute timer, I'm going to say, because good Lord, a 5-minute timer. We're going to try to align on what games we want to play most. And then, dear listener, you vote however the hell you want, but now you know. There's no implicit, explicit. I used implicit improperly off mic.
No, but I'm laughing because we're not going to have the same order. And then it's going to be like, do you want to do mine or yours?
That's why it's
really imperfect. Yeah,
this is the nature of it's collaboration. It's compromise. So here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, all right, we got 5 minutes on the board. I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1, say, and
Well,
we're
we
gonna.
can. The first game we can just say it's the same for both of us. It's the High Council game.
That's true.
LOK Digital,
Graciously submitted by the one, the only Calamity Nolan, user of Discord.
So that'll be the first game, and then we're gonna do the next 4 right here, right now. So you're gonna count us off.
For what?
The voting system.
Huh?
The voting system.
Oh. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3, and then at 3, 2, 1, 0. So at 0, we're going to say what our number 1 pick is.
Okay.
Actually, let's start at the bottom.
Let's start with number 5. Okay, fine. I don't care. Yeah, fine.
And and then we're gonna record it in top-down order.
Okay.
Once we agree on what the order is.
Yeah, I'm writing down your order because I have mine organized in order.
I don't have mine written down.
Don't worry.
I got it all up here.
Yeah. All right. So we're doing the last place game in our order first. Count us off, Sean.
Let me also use this opportunity to say game design's hard. Even designing say name of game at the same time in order is hard.
This doesn't work, but I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
We'll see. Okay. 5 minutes on the board. Our number 4 pick each. 3, 2, 1. Into the
Kirby's
breach.
Dream Course.
No! No! I don't want to say any spoilers.
Okay, next game.
All right, next game. Number 3 for each of us. 3, 2, 1. Elevator
Into the
action.
breach. This is a disaster.
Next game.
But it's really fun.
3, 2,
2,
1. Blueprints. All right, so Blueprints is number 2. That's locked in.
Lock it in.
And if eagle-eared listeners are paying attention to what we're talking about, we're about to get into a fight. 3, 2, 1.
Elevator
Kirby's Dream
action.
Course. Okay. So Alon's number 4 is my number 1. That's the most contentious one, I think.
Yeah,
Elevator action, I put it number 3. You put it at number 1? You freak.
That's right.
Into the breach, I said 4, you said 3. Let's agree that that's at the bottom.
Last place?
Wait, how do we do this? How do we debate this? Because my number 1 was your number 4. I think that's a more exciting debate than Into the breach, elevator action, piddly diddly.
Right.
So, do you agree? Do you disagree? Counselor,
yeah, I agree.
I
don't know what to say without encroaching on our
actual discussion.
The actual discussion. I'll just say
Here's
it
the
briefly. I have no interest in playing Kirby's Dream Course anymore.
No interest.
That's why it's my last place one. That's why I put it last.
Come on. It's the one that I can envision just playing and having a nice time and thinking about.
It's the one that I played 30-ish minutes of, and we're like, okay, I never need to play it again.
I get it. But elevator action had
yes, I agree. It was fucking great.
We're kind of breaking the whole point of the show at this point. So I'm just going to say,
just decide the order.
The important thing is it doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it.
We know that you hate Kirby Dream Course, and I love it. Let's put it at number 3. Into the breach goes last. Elevator action goes first.
Sure.
Okay. Beautiful.
Wow, thanks.
And that with 3 minutes left on the board. Okay.
All right.
So our first game, though, Screech is LOK Digital.
LOK Digital. I'm starting the clock.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
So LOK Digital, what is it?
It's a computer game based on a book game. Did you
I didn't know
this?
that. I did
on the
not know
main
that.
screen, there was an option called The Book.
Oh my God, I have a surprise for you.
What?
I didn't even mention it. I'm cutting into the time right now.
What?
I played the demo. I just figured I could buy it, or there's a free download install right now demo. I'm going to play less than 30 minutes anyway.
You're out of control.
I played the fucking demo.
You're out of your
We've never
mind.
discussed that ever, but it seemed fine to me.
That is.
Are you upset?
I paid $11 for a game that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And here you come. No, I am curious. As always, when the distinction is me play actual game, you play demo, which also happened on our Bundle of Joy video.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's an implicit and potentially boring conversation of, so what's the difference between our, what's in the demo that's not in the full game? How many, did you spell more than one word? Was your game all lock?
Lock.
You didn't,
all lock.
You didn't get to a second word.
No, did not get to a second word.
Okay, good to know.
Sorry.
It's okay. What'd you think of it?
Fun. Nice. Yeah, like clean, nice puzzle fun. Good game. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I feel like it comes off that way where I'm like, I could totally see this as a mobile game. Maybe that's me just being completely like New York Times games pilled because it's like the shape of words and crosswordy and whatever. Yeah.
I think it's the same reality as the fact that like it's a video game version of a book game. And by book game, it's like a game that can be played on paper. And like that's what it is. And I also don't think of mobile game as a derogative thing, like period.
I just feel like it to some people means like it doesn't deserve to be a full game. It's just a mobile game. But that's not what I mean at all. It's just it's very contained and small puzzles that you look at and tactile, and you look and you kind of understand, and then you usually go in a wrong direction. You're like, oh wait, I need to do this and like move stuff around and like it's just nice. It's good.
It's also a sit and think game, which often enough when we're on our accursed telephones, we're sitting and thinking, and we don't want to be thinking about whatever it is we're thinking about, which is why we go on the telephone.
Yes, it's just like on the subway is when I do like Wordle, or if I'm doing a mini crossword, and like I feel like I could just do some runs of LOK Digital and just make some things and solve some puzzles. Yeah,
truly. I think it hits in that way. It hits for me also. Like I almost impulsively bought the book upon seeing it.
Wow,
it was just like,
I want to see it.
Just like because okay, so to describe the game a little bit, it's a game where you are given, you got three, it's square based and letter based, and you got to spell the word lock, which lets you fill in another square.
LOK, by the way, not LOCK.
LOK, yeah.
Which are these little worm dudes. But
that being said, on one of the levels, it starts to play with how the words are spelled out, and you see an LOL, you see an LOLOK, which feels like kind of intentional, like, haha,
The book looks fucking cool, by the way. I'm looking at the book right now. Yeah, the book looks sweet.
Describe the book for the listeners.
It looks like the game. It's very black ink heavy and like basically black and white game where you're I guess the difference would be you're physically writing the letters in. And
I think you got to like commit to what you're doing in the book, maybe.
So it's even more of a sit and think game because that's black ink, baby.
You really got to commit.
Yeah, you're going in hard on that. So but it looks really cool. Now I understand why it's called LOK Digital. I always thought that was a weird name. It's like, why isn't it just Locky or something? But
Locky's Quest.
Because it's the digital version of LOK, a puzzle book. So
yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
And I think it also brings to mind, everything we're saying sort of brings to mind like notions of like interface, like how we interface with the game. Because my big joke that I open up with was finally in my notes was finally a wide flank game played with a mouse, because this game is very you're like selected and drag, and that doesn't feel like a big deal
around and stuff.
But it is a big deal. We don't talk about interface mechanism. I mean, we sort of do, but we've only played controller games. And I'd love to play this game on a tablet. I'd love to be touching it. I'd love to be drawing it on paper.
Oh my god, your hand gliding over a tablet screen. Forget about that.
But yeah, as it like pertains to interface, I think it's interesting not to just compare it to the book game that neither of us have played, but like
or even seen,
but like part of the game is like trying things out and undoing them, and like selecting and dragging and just sort of like experimenting. Like as much as the game is like a logic game up front, I think it's also a game that like really prioritizes experimentation. Like it wants you to like try shit out to learn about shit.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. It's sort of like setting traps for you, not in a way of it's like, oh, you die, but it wants you to see something catches your eye, right?
Yeah.
And it wants you to drag out, oh, LOK. I've solved the puzzle. And
so
then
smart.
that you have to backtrack and be like, oh, I understand what they're doing. I have to think this way.
Yes.
And that's kind of like the tutorializing of like understanding how the puzzles work.
Yeah, totally. And I think like your eye gets drawn to just like the word lock, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fill this out. And like,
yeah.
But then you realize you can't. I started to get wary when I was playing it though, of like, are there gonna be puzzle solutions where like I don't know how I figured it out? I just tried out like a million different
brute forcing. I mean, that's the enemy of all good puzzle games. It's like, well, I just brute forced it. It's like, oh, that's a bad game.
I just drag. But I think it's like, I think like that can happen because there's like the way the game is organized is it's these like grid based puzzles, like and you spell the word and you fill. It's about like color and filling space. And there's a mechanic that I'm not going to describe because the game says to you, what does the game say to you? The game says, adjacency of tiles can change throughout solving a puzzle.
And I did not know what that meant. And now what does that mean?
The important thing is at the end of that statement, it also says, figure out how. The game just says to you, like,
there it is.
A sentence like adjacency of tiles can change throughout solving a puzzle,
which it is.
You don't understand, but then says figure out. And that's kind of like a verbal representation of what we're already talking about, which is you do things to learn things. Like it's just figure it out.
When you say that, and when I think more about the game, because you mentioned tactile, it's a computer game. You don't actually touch anything, but they feel like Rubik's Cube blocks or something like that. They feel like a 3D tile
unfolded.
You can like kind of almost grab. And like when I'm thinking about the book and it looks the same way, it feels more 2D than like looking at the screen. You know what I mean? Like it feels like I feel like a book would be like flatter than what the computer game looks like. That does kind of look like, oh, I can like reach out and grab it. And I can like almost like turn the tile like a Rubik's Cube or something. And then like, oh, that didn't work. Turn it back. You know, that's kind of like.
And do you think that comes from like the visual design of it?
I guess
like just the fact that you are interfacing it in a more flexible way?
And there's just so many. I only know this because I remember reading Slay the Spire article or hearing an interview, and they were talking about how they just booted up Hearthstone and were like, Hearthstone feels fucking amazing to touch the cards. Literally, like just flicking a card and dragging a card, like all just felt so tactile, like real cards. And they're like, we just stole everything from Hearthstone, you know? And I think there's just like a lot of like clever things that are clicking and dragging. Why does that feel good? Why does that feel less good in other games?
I'm not trying to solve the puzzle now, but I clocked it too. It's that the game is like highly animated.
I think it feels amazing more than just
wet.
the look.
It's like there's a lot of like when you're just like changing screens, it goes like shoop and like wiggles a little bit. When you're putting stuff down, it's like it splats. Like it is. There's like a lot of, and I think the game also, we haven't even talked about like the visual aesthetic of the game, and like there's a narrative conceit to the puzzle game, which is like the Lock is actually a blob creature, and I see my timer going off. Narrative, animation, puzzles, language, color. Wait, it's not time for our 1 minute. Can that be part of my 1 minute? Language, color, narrative.
Sean has a screaming problem.
It's a game that for me it evokes feelings of Picross. It evokes feelings of Sawayama Solitaire. It is a patience game through and through, because at a certain point you're staring at that board, you're thinking through it. I do not have a minute-long timer on, so you're gonna have to tell me. You can sort of sniff out what a solution of a puzzle is. So, but you don't know, so you have to be patient. You try things out in your mind, and then you try things out in the hand, and then you go back into your mind and back in your hands. And speaking of alarms, as I was finishing up the game, my timer for playing the game session, I set like a 30-minute timer.
Yeah.
My timer was going off, but it was like, no, I'm finishing this puzzle.
Yeah.
And I didn't finish it for like another 10 minutes, but like that's a kind of game me likey at LOK Digital, baby.
Nice job. Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
I'm focusing more on the feeling because it just feels incredible. I mean, the first time you click and drag, you're like, oh my God, yes. Like I'm gliding through and the black ink is splattering on the letters that I highlighted, and it feels amazing. And then the first time I right clicked to like, undo that. And it just worked. I was like, thank God. It's like they play tested this. This isn't some early access bullshit. This feels fucking good and looks good, and it's just cute, cool puzzle game. Nice job by them.
Congratulations to I don't think I wrote down the name of the designer.
Me neither.
We'll link to the game. We'll link to all these games in the show notes.
Yeah.
I think it's like Scandinavian.
So what are we doing next?
Number 2 is Elevator Action, but I also forgot what the next.
No, I have it in order.
Elevator Action Blueprints, Kirby Into the
Breach. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Elevator Action, the game.
Shall we?
A game so nice they released it thrice.
Are we starting the clock?
Yes. Please.
Okay.
Thank you. Wait,
man. So my
go off. This is
my
your special
first game
baby.
And your last game. I don't feel exceptionally
this
passionate
isn't my
about
last
it.
Game. This is my whatever.
I thought it was your last place game.
Into the Breach is my last game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
This game is my my second to last.
Okay, second to last. I mean, I just thought I saw some writers that I like.
Yeah.
Both write about this at different times in the last year.
Okay.
And I was very unfamiliar with the game. I didn't read the articles. I just have them saved somewhere. They're probably like on my Kindle or something. And then when it came time to choosing games, and one of my games was too hard to play, Harley Davidson and the LA Riders. So that got excommunicated. I was like,
the only way you can emulate Sega Model 3 games is with like a command line emulator. And I got the command line emulator to work, but then the ROM wouldn't work. We're not talking about
that. So I pivoted. Elevator Action. I played the NES port. It's from 1983 arcade game.
Close enough to the arcade version.
I think it's exactly the same as the arcade.
The color palette is like a little different.
Yeah,
like,
probably. Yeah.
And the animation is probably a little different too, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Keep going.
It's fun in a really specific way that reminds me of other old arcade games, specifically something like Tapper, maybe.
Root beer tapper?
Yeah, where you're like tossing the beers.
Yeah, truly.
Because it's just like, there's something I just love where I'm like taking in a whole screen at once.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have time to like look over there or look over there because you have to be aware at all times of any doors and any enemies that are coming out. Yeah. And just timing them all the time. You're just boom, 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 boom. And trying to get high scores and do it well.
Despite the fact that the game is in motion, but it's like it's such a static, consistent sense of motion that it feels like a single screen game that is steadily moving.
Yeah, it's like a live action puzzle or something like that. And you know how and when to react, and it's all precision and timing. And it just felt really repeatable and fun and something that I could like get really good at. And
I too like wish to master the game. Like that's the depth of playing this game for a game club, is like just like diving deeper and deeper into this game. And not only that, like I would say if we are going to cover this for game club, which I would love to do, I would really want to research like the developer Taito who made it, because Taito Do you know of any other Taito games off the dome?
No, tell me. No.
But I only know of one other straight off the dome, and it's Bubble Bobble, baby. And Bubble Bobble.
Bubble
Bubble Bobble. Bubble Bobble. And if this same studio is developing Bubble Bobble and Elevator Action, it's like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
They've probably got a pile of good ideas.
Yeah. Wow, they've been making electromechanical games starting in the 60s.
That's gross.
And then they started making video games in the 70s. Wow.
Opportunistic bastards.
Wow.
Yeah,
but yeah, right. They made Space Invaders.
They made so truly. Yeah,
They're fucking legends. Yeah.
That game is a classic. That game's fine.
Yeah.
No, we're not here to talk about Taito. We're here to talk about Elevator Action. But the depth of the game is there.
Yeah. It's a weird game. We haven't played a game where like the depth is getting better at it.
Sure, as opposed to like slamming your head at it for 15 hours.
Yeah, or narrative, or what are they trying to say? Or, there's a lot of things we usually focus more time on. But yeah.
I'm done.
He is cooked after Eternal Darkness.
I'm done with 15-hour narrative games. Unless it's Elevator Action, baby. But I love what you were saying about it as a single screen game, because like I think of the game as like this thing that's in constant motion, but like but you're right that it's like when you are playing it, all the information you can see is like all that matters to you.
That's
basically.
all that matters. Yeah.
Like going down, I don't know though. That's there. I feel like there's mysteries yet to this game for me.
I agree.
Right away, like
you go in the red doors.
You go in the red door, you get like a briefcase. But if you shoot your gun, you drop the briefcase.
Yeah,
so it's like, so I should get the briefcase and then can't attack, but like maybe I get bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, it
also,
changes
I think
the game.
It stacks if you survive and keep surviving. Keep playing through the building. That's how you get your high scores.
We have
and stuff.
Not described the game at all to the listener.
Yes, I realize that everyone has literally no idea what it is. Yeah.
You're a little man who hook shots on like a hook comes from upper
you're
left
a fucking
side of the screen.
Spy. You're not just some rando guy.
No. You're not a rando. You get in an elevator, the elevator starts to go down. There's all these doors and like little guys come out of the doors.
The player assumes the role of a secret agent infiltrating a 30-story building from the roof. Just the Wikipedia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like there's those fucking action movies that all take place in one building where they have to like go up.
Die Hard or Judge Dredd.
There was one from like Southeast Asia or something.
I was about
like
to
that.
say, it's not.
I can't remember what it's called.
The Raid.
Yeah, The Raid.
With what's his name? It doesn't matter.
It's kind of like that, except you're James
distracted about
Bond and you go from the top. But yeah, it's really old. I mean, it felt. I'm such an idiot. I forgot what like the NES controller even looks like, and in my notes I'm like, kind of only has 6 buttons: up, down, left, right, jump, and shoot.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh yeah, that's all the NES controller has. That's NES, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, truly. The interface is like it's limited, but like the gameplay doesn't feel limited. I kept like I didn't slap myself while playing it because I've played Elevator Action like since I was a child.
And you've played the sequel.
Only a little bit. I've only because the sequel, Elevator Action Returns, which like modern game freaks love to celebrate because it's like animated to all hell, and for other reasons. But the point is that the game it is consummately playable. Like a lot of NES games, you put them in the hand and it's just like no. But this is a game design from 1983 that like feels kinetic. It feels reactive.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is. There's weird little things in it. Like
there's a lot of little things. I'm pretty sure. I mean,
you can kick guys in the face.
You can jump kick people. You can jump across elevator shafts. You can get briefcases. You can
if
duck.
You get under the elevator, you get squished with a little animation.
And if an enemy's under the elevator, you can kill them that way.
Same thing. Yeah, and you are the one pushing down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's reactive. Yeah.
Like even I think where the seed was planted for me was these 2 articles that I haven't read, and I'm like, now that I've played it, I'm so like, wow, what did they write about? Is it everything we're talking about? Is it layers deeper. They've been playing this for 20 years.
You didn't read the articles. You just saw people you liked had written about it.
Yeah, I just saved it. It's like on my Kindle.
Headline.
Yeah.
Well, how about you link to those in the show notes?
Yeah, maybe
and also,
I will.
To me, because I'd like to read them.
Fine.
That's
I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we got a few minutes left here.
I think we've said most of what is to be said.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out at a certain point you exit the elevator and you start to get onto escalators.
Yeah, there's escalators. Yeah. Bad guys coming out of blue doors. You go in red doors. You can shoot the lights out.
And then you get the lights out,
and
then
you
substantial.
Yeah, and then you get more points every time you kill when the lights are out. There's all these.
Oh, that's what happens.
Yeah,
that's its own little mystery.
It goes from like 100 to 150. Like
cool.
I can't even imagine what the high score people are doing in this game. For all I know, they never shoot. You get more points if you jump kick than shooting.
Oh, really?
So they might.
So you were clocking all this.
Yeah, because I was like getting into it. And so it's like, I imagine they're shooting the lights out, jump kicking everyone, ducking under bullets. Like, I'm just like, I can't believe this is from 1983. Like, this is unbelievable.
It's very early and there's a lot going on.
Going on.
And last thing I want to say about it before for you to be allowed to riff on is I'm kind of curious too about like whether if you beat a level, is it a new building that you're in, or like are you in the same building with like just like more enemies or like slight changes?
Yeah,
and it's like either or. Like, what if it's the same building again? I feel like it could still be like the same. Like that loop might still feel satisfying.
Also, like, I was thinking. Oh, sorry, I'm cutting in your minute. But I was just
this is not my minute.
Oh, not your minute. Not your minute. But yeah, I was like, also, is it randomly generated? Could they even do that back then? Like, how much data can you fit into an NES cartridge? And is it different every time? Or, like, I have no idea.
There's always like door second from the left, little fucker comes out.
And it's not, it is single screen, but it's not Zelda. It doesn't load the next floor. It's like pretty seamless, right? Like, you go down, it doesn't like stop and then load the floor below you. You know what I mean?
No, I don't believe it does. It just
doesn't.
Moves.
It just moves.
I never
which also feels
bottom.
Like, I got to like third floor or something like that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, so you witnessed changes. Also, the alarm went off, right?
Yeah. Oh God. Sorry. Fuck. Oh, fuck.
We're so fucking dead. All right.
Yeah, but it's so playable, and it's probably one of very few games that came out in 1983 and was ported to like regular NES and is still really fun and playable and interesting. And so that's kind of what captured me.
Keep going.
That's it. That's all I got. That's my elevator pitch.
Mamma mia. That's so nice. It's a game that manifests the latent thrill of elevators. You ever ride on an elevator and think, this is kind of weird?
Yeah.
This is a weird thing that we have. Well, this game answers those very thoughts by saying, yeah, and you can get on top of it, you can ride it, you can go underneath it, but we're not sure you want to. It's a game that plays with light. It's a game that plays with motion. It is superbly animated. The music is okay. It's a classic by It's a classic by Taito, and this one gets a big thumbs up from Sean, and I would be thrilled to cover it in the Wide Flank Game Club.
Wide Flank world.
But also, I got stressed out trying to emulate it because different versions of it wouldn't run right in my arcade emulators. So if we're playing the NES version, I'm fine with that.
It worked perfectly, and that's why I did it. I was like, I know NES emulators work, and I'm going to do that.
I spent 1 hour trying to get Harley Davidson and the LA Riders to work, and then 40 minutes trying to get Elevator Action to work. And when I went to bed, I was kind of mad.
Sorry. I'm picking tough to emulate games.
It's okay.
But we're way over time.
We're way over time. Speaking of tough to pick, The viewer doesn't need to know this, but I kind of wanted to just tell it to you that literally my ranking of games was my 2 games, then your 2 games.
Oh,
I think yours was a little more evenly distributed.
Yeah, it was.
Anywho, number 3.
Wait.
We definitely didn't just take a bathroom break. Welcome back to hi.
Hey,
it's Mini Club.
Let's keep going.
We're going to do number 3 of games for Mini Club now, which eagle-eared listeners will remember is Blueprints. The game du jour, as we like to call them. Yeah. Everybody's on Blue Sky and YouTube is freaking out about it a few weeks ago. By now, something else will probably have come along. But we played it. What did you think of it, Alon?
Interesting. Cool. Wouldn't say I loved it.
Yeah, I'm hearing some reservations.
No, I wouldn't say I loved it, but it became clear to me that it was like, all right, there's like a lot to take in here. Even the fact that you run into, I don't know if you ran into a notepad, but it's like, I suggest grabbing a notepad and taking notes.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I love that.
Oh yeah, I loved it too. I didn't take notes about the game, like, the map and stuff like that, because I was like, I'm only playing for a bit, but even just like having that, I was like, all right, yeah, this is gonna be heavy lifting puzzle stuff, and it's cool.
Yeah, and there's like at first brush, there's a lot going on. I also wanted to say I just like games that tell you to write stuff IRL. A game we covered recently on the show, Bundle of Joy, also facilitated writing.
Yes.
And like a video game being like, stop, you should write something.
You're gonna forget. You're gonna remember, and you're gonna forget, and you're gonna be mad.
Yeah, you're not gonna react your way through this one. Twitch Unreal Tournament player.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's let's describe it.
It's first person and
like a shooter, but no gun.
I don't know what I'm curious what you wrote, but I wrote it's kind of like a deck builder.
Oh no.
It's kind of a first person deck builder. What'd you put?
What deck do you build? I don't know what a deck builder is.
Well, you're in a mansion and there's a mystery. We don't need to go into details of that. But every time you open a door, you get to draft. It literally says draft like a deck builder.
What?
Draft a room to go into, and you choose, and different rooms you go into for different reasons and have different things and opportunities or items or whatever, and then you choose it.
You're exploring a 3-dimensional space that you're quote creating through little choices as you go. And I will say, the initial effect of choosing a room and it seamlessly opening into that room, I was like, well, here we go, ladies and germs. This is the video game. Like, that felt really good. Yeah. The inverse of that, and I don't want to get too ahead of it, the inverse of that, going back through rooms that you've created, I didn't, it wasn't even like, oh, this is a drag. It like frightened me. It made me like uncomfortable.
What part of it?
Looking through a door, through another door that's just like rooms that I set up. Made me feel like
it's cool.
It made my skin crawl.
That's
it felt spooky to me.
Yeah, it's definitely got an ominous vibe and a spooky vibe for sure. And there's a lot of doors that are like bolted shut, and eventually I basically soft locked myself and had to be like, I have to start another day, which is like another run. It's like, that's why I say it's a deck builder. It's a deck builder, but every card you draft is a level on a map that you're building.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When I hear deck builder, I always think that it's like I'm going to spend a bunch of time outside the board of play choosing which cards are going to go into. But is a deck builder
That's what you do.
You're given cards and then have to make sense of them?
Deck builder generally means you start with a base deck of some very simple cards. And then you get the opportunity to add cards that do stuff. And so this game, it's not exactly the same, but you're adding stuff to your deck, basically adding stuff to your map, your playable area.
Which I will say, the fact that you can summon a map when you're choosing your cards, clean game design. The word I kept writing over and over was just clean.
Clean.
This game is clean.
Right.
It is.
Right,
it is very smooth. It goes down very smooth. I am curious though why you were a little like uncertain about it, because I was. I want to make sure I pop off. I'll pop off during my 1 minute thing because I was liking this as a game, and then the thing I encountered right at the end of my play session, I was like, I trust this game implicitly. So please tell me.
Interesting.
Like I trust this game's perspective.
I guess like the opening kind of put me off. I think where it's just like a movie, this big cinematic, and I was just thinking that entire time I was like, am I supposed to be paying attention? Like, I don't really give a shit what this guy is saying. Are there like, because I knew it was some sort of mystery, and I'm like, are there like clues here? Like, I don't care, and I wasn't in the mood to be like, I'm gonna fucking zone in right now and lock in and solve this puzzle. And I took
it as like just enough narrative to be like, the house is ever changing, and you got to find the 46th room in this house.
Yeah, like eventually that's what you know. Eventually you know that's all you need to know.
It's purely game information.
Yeah.
Like the lore surrounding it is like dressing for the game design.
And I think the lore and the look both put me off.
The look is a little.
I think it looks terrible. It's gross. I don't like it.
It's clean.
Yeah, if clean means like AI generated, I don't know.
I literally had a note. I had a note where I saw a portrait. I saw one portrait and thought, I'm getting Eternal Darkness vibes from this. But then I saw another portrait and my thought was, does this game have AI art in it?
I'm worried. Like it's... So I think those things put me off. And then like... there's a little bit of which is understandable because it's like a big puzzle, but there's like a little bit of like a slowness to it early where I'm just like, oh, do I have to like hover over every book on this bookshelf because one of them is going to be like accessible? Like, I don't like the fact that there are like random items scattered through the room that you have to like find. I was like,
okay. So it's like, the rooms, it's like you have to like literally navigate every room every time you go into it, because I was wondering the same thing of like, how much do I have to look around? And I think like
I still don't know the answer, to be honest.
There is a certain amount, because like when you're drawing cards, it'll tell you like there's 3 gems in this room. I like that, which is helpful.
That's really helpful. And
there's also a moment that I kind of liked but just feel kind of neutral about, which was like I found a hidden card and was like, oh, what's this? And I picked it up and it was just like a fun drawing of like a bird.
Nice.
Of like a cartoon bird, and I was just like, oh,
an AI bird.
Okay, a cute AI output, and it was just like, oh, so this game like knows that it wants you to feel like a freak for looking around everywhere. But I don't know what it's like getting at just yet with regards to.
But I think like in terms of my reservations, that pretty much covers it. Like once I was like getting in there and opening doors and making decisions, I was like, this is very cool and like very unique feeling, even though, you know, there's all these other subgenres that I feel like I'm sort of touching on. They're all mixed together in a really interesting way.
Sure. I do wonder about like, as I was playing it, I don't have reservations about it, because my feeling about it is like, oh, I want to keep learning what this game is trying to teach me about itself.
It sounds like you've played a little more than me too. I just did one day.
Same.
Oh, okay.
I got to, as soon as I started it, one of my first thoughts was like, what happens if I like build into a loop that doesn't,
which is that's how my day ended.
And it's just like, oh, okay. And so, but then like the implicit thing is like, I'll see what happens next time if we cover it on the game.
That's exactly how I'm
gonna presume though that it's just like, oh, the house resets, and the thing I'm curious about is like, what is carried over? Like, is it pretty like the classical?
Sure nothing is really carried over. Like that.
Sure.
The rooms are like your draft choices. You get 3 rooms to choose for. I think those are random every time.
So maybe it's like you start to learn like, oh, these like this type of room can be a little problem, because like certain rooms are just like clearly dead ends, and like maybe those have some attributes that are like better.
Gain 10 steps. We didn't mention the fact that there's like a limited number of actions you can do.
Very, very small numbers, essentially. It's there's keys, gems, steps. Usually I'm the one
money.
who like
there's money or whatever.
Yells about hating having to learn discrete like currencies and stuff in games, but like in this game it's like
the numbers are so small.
There's only a few, it's a certain number, and it is such a clean, clear, like the steps right away. Clean.
Yeah.
The steps right away, it was like, oh, I have to get to the 46th room, and in a day I'm only allowed to go to 50 rooms. Like,
in a way, also very board gamey in a way. Like you know, board games are just like, oh, I have 2 action tokens and I'll do it. Like it just made sense immediately. It's like, oh, everything I do, that number goes down by 1. Cool.
Yeah,
I got it.
It costs a gem to put down this room. Got it. Yeah. Keys feel like a mystery to me.
And like you said, it's
a box.
So clean. It's just like,
yes,
it's very well made and very, I don't know what time we're at, by the way, because I did not start my timer.
I started my timer at like 8 minutes because I forgot to set mine too.
We fucked up.
And I didn't say most of my notes. I wrote a lot of notes because I was like activated playing this game. I'm just gonna say, here's my minute.
Yeah.
A quote from the character's grandma says, "Don't go where the path leads.
Abandon
the path
too.
And go where you want it to lead." Which, like, yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. But I want to say that you're playing this game, you're exploring this house, you're feeling suffocated. I'm putting a minute on the clock.
I have you.
Thank you, brother.
You're at 17 seconds.
And I was acutely feeling stifled, but it's like as the game was wrapping up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this aside so that I can return it to Steam if I need to. Spoiler alert, I'm probably not gonna return it either way because I like this video game. The point is I instead of quitting and saying go to bed, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out the front of the house.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, the game lets me go out the front of the house.
Yeah, I did that
and
too.
I'm like, oh. And then I'm walking around the grounds and some beautiful synthesizer pads come in. I'm like, ooh. And I'm like looking around thinking, and I'm looking and I'm seeing paths laid out and I'm making choices about paths I want to walk down. And the feeling of I can just follow this path rather than put down and make choices about the paths I want to take made me feel like so calm. It was a nice respite, but it was more than that. It was like being in nature after my minute.
Yeah, but I don't care.
There's different kinds of mysteries out here. There's puzzles on the grounds. I found a puzzle and was like, oh my God. And then there's a balcony where you stand and you're just looking at a mountain and the sound of a waterfall is playing. The screen is filled with the view of a mountain and the sound of water. And it's like, and then you look to where the water is and you see some little archways carved into the mountainside. So it's like, how deep does this house go?
Yeah.
And so like, it was so peaceful. It was so, my curiosity was like raring. It felt amazing. This game, when I had that feedback of like, I'm going to go out the house. Whoa. This game is like about exploring and paths you make and paths you take and paths you don't take. Like this game, oh my gosh. And the sound design. Oh, Mamma mia, me likey blueprints.
That's your minute and my minute because I said all the things I need to say. But yeah, it's a cool game. I'll probably not return it either. TBD.
Okay.
Into the Breach.
Okay. Into the Breach.
Okay,
wait, no, Kirby. Because Into the Breach was my last, and it was your second to last.
Kirby, baby, take it away. I'm starting the timer.
Kirby's Dream Course fucking rocks, and I'm going to quit the podcast because of what Alon has done when he said that it's the worst. No, I believe, because you already made your case of like, yeah, I played it and was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm of the mind of it that it's like, I just want to I both want to sink my teeth into it, but also can see myself just chilling and playing it. A lot of the games we play for Game Club, I'm not chilling when I play them. It's just like, I got to figure this out. I got to think critically about this. With Kirby's Dream Course, it's so I start the game and there's an option called, and I'm just popping off.
Yeah.
You want to cut in?
No.
You start the game and there's an option called Demo Play. I click that first and it gives me a 4x5 grid of different abilities. And I load one of them. And it's like, here's how to use the UFO ability. And it's like, oh, if Kirby hits this, he moves in this way. And I was like, my God, the geniuses at HAL have taken the core conceit of Kirby games, which is that you copy things, and like applied those as discrete mechanics in an entirely different game design, which is more or less golf. And so like the idea of playing a game where you're playing a golf game where you're constantly getting new ways to interface with golf. Oh baby, me likey that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I would know.
Yeah.
I know that I would get more into it, and I didn't even see any of that stuff. I just played some golf, the normal way that golfers play golf, and I was just like, yeah, it's a Kirby golf game, and I've played 20 minutes, and I'm good. But
I get it.
The vibes and the aesthetics are unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't even press start on the title screen because I was like, this is too sick.
Just
I can't even interrupt this. What a savage you have to be to interrupt that. And then when you play, you have to write your name on a fucking blackboard. You don't
and
like
you can
enter
draw
in.
whatever you want.
You draw whatever you want. You don't write fucking AS or ass. You just draw a little fucking face or whatever, and that's your golfer name. And the music's so good, and I like how Kirby like literally spins when you're aiming and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe I didn't go deep enough to get hooked. I just went surface level, and I was like, cool, yeah, it's a golf game, and I kind of gave up.
Sure, and I think for me, it's like I'm raring to go into. I don't know if Masahiro Sakurai is even involved with this. I don't even think he is. We don't do research for Mini Club.
No, we don't.
But like, I think what got me excited about it was, well, one, I wanted to reference this as I was popping off because some of the same conclusions I'm drawing, I basically took from a piece I read. The fact that it's like, this is a HAL game, and HAL is a studio that like plays with mechanics.
I thought we do no research.
It wasn't research. I read it in February and thought, oh, this game seems cool and this writer is thoughtful. I don't know what their human name is, but it's a Retro XP Substack.
Okay, cool.
We'll link to that piece in the show notes. I'm referencing show notes a lot on this episode.
Yeah, I don't. Should we even do show notes? I don't know. I have a timer going. We're at 3:25 right now.
Okay, cool. I just set it to set. Okay, point is that. Yeah, like the fact that it's a HAL video game. It happens to be Kirby, but really we're seeing people like trying to design mechanics around golf. And that that's very exciting to me in terms of like, it's either chill and I'm just playing golf, or I'm like activated and learning new things and reacting to the game. Yeah, but you're basically you.
I like desert golf. You know, that was a good. That was the most of any golf game I've ever played. Probably is that game on my phone, like commuting or whatever. Yeah, straightforward, chill, makes more sense control wise and stuff like that. I was struggling a bit with like the meters, and I'm like, I didn't hit it that hard. Why did it fucking go that far? And changing the clubs, there's no visual indication when other than like the predictor of where the ball's gonna go. There's no, it doesn't say, oh, you're switching to your fucking 9-iron now or whatever.
Well, because it's both. It's like it's a golf game, but it's also like it's not golf. I mean, it's golf. It is golf game design.
Maybe mini golf is a more accurate description.
Sure, because like, it's real short. It's single screen,
hit
like
enemies to unlock the whole kind of.
If I may, the fact that's because I could just talk about why I love this game, but I do want to meet you halfway more than I want to talk about why I love it. But I will say that like the fact that whichever enemy is left last on the board becomes the whole means playing the game is unique every single time because the order of enemies you hit changes where the final hole is. So it's like it's golf with significant like design iteration, like just like and playful iterative things and like learn how to play with this thing. Like,
and that is sort of mini golf-ish in a weird way because it's not straight up hit the ball into the hole as quickly as possible and in as few strokes as possible, which is golf. It's more like, how do I hit all three of these like floating heads in the most efficient way possible. So then that one becomes a hole and the ball rolls back to the hole. Like, I imagine like you're getting that deep if you're like getting good at this game and play a lot of it.
You're like thinking about you get to learn the physics a
it's
little
sort of
better.
Like pool and golf, because you're like setting up your next shot all the time.
Like bounce. Yeah, it's a lot of like trying to learn how to like bounce off the walls to control the Kirby and like
and the spin and stuff. Yeah.
And it's a game where you lose control of the Kirby too, because you either shoot in a straight line and you like go across the land, or you like go up in the air and bounce.
You
chip. And the first time I chipped, I was so excited, like, I'm gonna chip, and I just like fell right off the level, and it was like, oh, this like, all right, so there's not invisible walls here.
No.
You're gonna fall off the damn level.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over, but like it's the thing that's exciting about it to me is like it's the aesthetics of Kirby, it's the comfort of Kirby, it's the design philosophies of HAL, but it's also the like promise of playful learning. The promise of if I keep playing this game, I'll keep having new scenarios to mess around with.
I feel like maybe something I brushed up against in the wrong way, but hearing you talk about it, I totally understand that I'm probably wrong about it. It's like I didn't feel like I learned. Like I feel like I was like, it's the wrong word, but almost brute forcing it. Like I was just like, oh, that shot sucked. Like why did it go that way? I'm
gonna hit it this way now.
Yeah, I'll try hitting it this way, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I got it into the hole eventually, and it's just like. I don't know. I didn't feel like I was learning how anything worked, or I didn't even know there were abilities or anything like that.
I think every single time I've ever played this game before, I've had your experience. I've had the experience of like, oh, this is just a golf game. Sure is cute, though.
Yeah, golf game skinned with Kirby.
Yeah, and so like literally the fact that like I went to the demo screen is what changed my experience. I think. Just seeing, there's 20 different discrete things that could completely change the field of play. Basically.
That's crazy. Yeah,
like that is a lot to consider.
That's a lot. You're selling me on
because
this.
It's a Kirby game. I also trust that it's not going to be doled because I'm still thinking about our game club and how on Eternal Darkness I was really struggling with like how much information does a player need to like have access to play a game? Like, why is it that certain learnings stress me out, but certain ones excite me? I'll say that like the way that HAL as a studio tends to design games is like it just gives you a little bit at a time. So when you're looking at a screen of 20 different things, that's not a little at a time. But I thankfully had the perspective of like, oh, it's because like you could obsessively be like, I'm gonna watch every single one of these demos, and it's like, all right, freak.
Yeah.
And the demo screen, it actually grays out the technique after you've watched the video, so it's like this is appealing to freak gamers in a way that me no likey. But
the manual's 57 pages if you want to
57?
If you just want to read that, that'll take care of everything.
Sure, literally just describing every single thing, like
every type of hit and enemy and ability and everything.
It's I think I've said basically everything because as I was playing it, the last level I played was one with the first copy ability, which I promptly
I haven't gotten a copy ability, I don't think.
Yeah, okay, so it's just for you it was just golf game of Kirby.
Where the physics are weird and but right. I think I'm underselling it. I think you sold me on that.
Hell yeah, brother. Is it time for our 1 minute spiels?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do mine because I'm cooking. I love this video game. I love Kirby. I love Kirby so much. Kirby's soft and pink and brave. Not only is he soft, but he's strong. Indeed, an inspirational figure to us all. But the point is that I've already said it 400 times that the game is about like introducing new elements and like playing with the new elements, and me likey that of games, like because it's substantial. Like the new elements are like, oh, it's how I'm interfacing with the game. Like I know golf, but this thing is going to change how I interface with my next move entirely and like physically, quote unquote, and also the But on level 3, there was a mechanic introduced of a warp pad where I literally went over it and warped to a different location.
Yeah.
And my gut thought to that was, God damn, I hope people make ROM hacks of this game. Where like I hope that there's an endless pile, an endless stream of people making their own levels. And if not, maybe there should be a spiritual successor.
Nice. There probably is a spiritual successor, speaking of.
Hope.
I mean, because again, it is like even the warp pad is so mini golf to me. Hit the ball into this zone and it's going to go through the tunnel and pop out the other side. You know what I mean? Like, so it is very playful in that way, but it looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. I think you sold me on the idea of like an ever changing, like living course that you're playing on. That's cool. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled with my 20, 30 minutes, so that's why I ranked it really low.
So we're not playing. It's
not even up to us. The people vote on it.
We'll explain that. I think we forgot to explain that in the intro. The point is
the people vote on the game club.
Yeah, we'll say that clearly in the outro of the episode, dear listener.
Ready to start the next one?
Number 5, Into the Breach.
I'm starting the clock now.
This was my number 5 pick for me because
why?
It's very involved and it's the kind of game that I feel like is going to stress me out if I have to play it for Game Club.
Well,
at the same time, I like it.
Yeah, I liked it. It did feel like there's going to be so much depth here. Like I now understand why my friend Wes, who is the person I asked about this game, was like, yeah, I have like thousands of hours in that game. And I was like, I get it now. There's infinity permutations of doing stuff.
It's the reason my friend Dan, who I asked about this game, said, yeah, it's the only Steam game I've platinumed. So
what does it even mean?
I don't know. You got
1,000?
all the achievements.
Oh,
it's
okay. Yeah.
Like destroyed the video game.
Yeah, I mean it sort of presents itself like an RTS, like you're playing fucking Command & Conquer or something, but then it plays like a board game again. We have 3 board games on the docket this game.
A lot
where
of
it's like
grid-based 3/4 view games.
Maybe this is because we just played Eternal Darkness and we were like, yo, we need a fucking grid.
Something manageable.
I need an 8x8 grid where I can see everything. But yeah, it's like this moody, pixelized, like fucking army game where you're like running a fleet of mechs and enemies spawn and you have to protect the civilians, and that's basically.
And the enemies telegraph their maneuvers, like so you like are reacting like one step ahead of the enemies. So you're planning. It's like a game of like actions and reactions, I think, and like movement. Like it's not like chess. I mean, it's kind of like chess, but it's not really. I'm pulling back to a game I have thousands of hours in, which is again Slay the Spire. The enemy intent, you see the enemy's intent every time before you play your cards. So you know, Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play Slay the Spire.
That's Slay the Spire. It says like attack for 15. So you can say like, oh, I have these block cards, so I'll block, or I'll just attack. I can kill the enemy before it attacks me or whatever. So yeah, you see like this fucking bug is going to attack your mech and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to deal with that, I guess. Like that, like as you're learning to play, because we've played so little, it's just kind of like, oh, they're attacking the city, get them, boys, and you kind of do your one action, and then you see it play out. Yeah, and it's turn based. Like turn based.
In case we haven't been clear, like you take turns. In the mold of Command & Conquer is real time.
No, that's
right?
real time. What's that?
Have you played Advance Wars or Fire Emblem? You played either of those video games? I haven't.
What's the game? Fuck. Where's Doug when you need him?
Warcraft.
There's another turn-based game where it's like
Final Fantasy.
No, you get a probability.
XCOM.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's it.
I was almost with you. I just wanted to be a little shit.
Oh, you're being a little shit. Yeah, it's kind of like XCOM, except it's like top down.
Yeah,
it's actually
it's
very similar to XCOM now that I think about it.
Sure, I've played. It doesn't matter what I've played. The point is that
the point is that the Vec are overrunning our island, putting refugees and historical artifacts at risk.
No,
the good news is we have the old Earth military artifacts that can help in the fight.
And these are like the last colonies on the planet. Yeah, there's like a lot of lore, but I will say that like the game already is playing with like lore information in a way I love, which is that when the enemies attack cities, it says like 350 casualties. So like even if you don't like, even if it doesn't destroy the location it's trying to get at, it's like there is a cost to your mistake.
Yeah,
gamer.
Yeah. And I made so many mistakes.
Yeah,
every move I did was bad. I think like I would like move a fucking enemy out of the way of the city, and then all of a sudden it killed my other guy because I moved it out.
It was too. Oh! It could access your other guy. Like so, it's like a sliding puzzle in some ways.
It's like a sliding puzzle.
Yeah,
it is because moving them seems very core.
It seems. Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that it's a strategy game, but that like the operative actions in it, like you can shoot, but like any action you do to an enemy moves it across, like you shove it. Like the game teaches you pretty early on, shove an enemy into a mountain to hurt both the mountain and the enemy more. And so it's just, you just see your mech just like shove a bug into a mountain and it like just dies. And it's like,
and or into the water and it drowns and you get extra points for drowning an enemy.
I forget which earlier game I was calling tactile. I think LOK Digital, but it's like this game is also quite tactile in how it's just like,
you're so right. It's a sliding puzzle. I didn't really realize that until now, but and that's why I was making all these mistakes, because my monkey brain was just like, bugs attacking the city, hit the bug.
Then
like I wasn't thinking about where the bug's gonna go if I move it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's and that's why I was making a comparison to chess too, because it's like it is a grid based. It's moving pieces on a board, and like part of how chess is played is like you're trying to imagine what your opponent's going to do, or like how you can like obscure what you're going to do to your opponent. Chess is played with two people. This is a video game This is a video game played with you versus the computer. So you never know exactly what the computer is going to do, but like it just offers like enough information for you to like sort of make like incremental, like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to do this. But if I do this, I'm going to have to do this. It's similar to LOK Digital in that way of like, we're not supposed to compare games too much in these mini clubs, but like,
it's not experimental because casualties happen.
Yeah, it's very.
You're not just like, oops, right click. It's like, oh, fuck.
It's like
they're dying.
They're dying, and also like, what was it? There was some mechanic that carries over from round to round. It's like if they destroy a building, that's carried over to the next round.
Oh yeah, and your power level goes down.
Yeah, so it's like every single round of the game matters in this like broader game structure.
Yeah, and it is a roguelike. It is a run based thing, but I think maybe this is touching on what you were thinking as well, but the part that's really intimidating to me is just like, that was fun and that was cool and I did the thing, but then you see that there's like a million different like squad loadouts.
Yeah.
There's a million different enemy types. There's even within your squad loadout, there's different weapons and abilities and blah.
Wait, really? Yeah. Because part of why I was loving on it is because I was like, oh, there's only 3 units. There's only so many things I can do.
I think there's probably a shit ton of units.
Well, there's also on the menu, there's an option between random squad and custom squad. So it's like literally, it feels like it's just like infinitesimal options of just, or that means small, I think.
Yeah, it does. But I know what you meant. I knew what you meant. But there's like at least 50 types of mechs, I think.
Sure.
And which means the permutations are fucked of like what type of squad, and especially because you can change. So that is scary.
Kind of turns me off between you and me, because like,
well, that's why you put it last. But I'm just saying, but it is fun and it is cool, and I could see a world where I get into it and I really enjoy it. But I think for Game Club, having a game that sort of never ends is intimidating.
It's a
because
little
it's like, how much do we play? Like, how deep did you go? Oh, you never did this. Like, I did that.
How
like,
does the demo differ from the full game? Like, it's not. Like it's. Which isn't to say that the goal of Game Club is like tidy, discrete experiences.
No, I don't think it should be limited to anything.
There is a ceiling to the play of this kind of game that feels like besides the point of. I mean, I don't know. We can talk about whatever we. If the users vote for Into the Breach, we gonna have to play Into the Breach.
We're gonna have a long, great podcast about it because I do see myself getting super into it.
Yeah.
Like I would get really into it. No doubt about it.
My gut response to it was like, I trust this game. There's something about this, the way that this onboarding is happening that like makes me trust this game.
Yeah.
There is something about the aesthetic is just like solid. Like, you know, it just is like super legible.
Simple and legible.
It's a lot of information, but being doled out in a way that's like pretty manageable. It's just like, hey, here you go. Here you go. It's like Kirby in that way, baby. There's a lot of info, but I want to learn the info.
Yeah, and they also made FTL, which I also heard is great. They're also making a Playdate game that everyone says is great. So like it's a trustworthy set of hands that we'd be placing ourselves into. It's just intimidating.
It's just scary.
I think like I had a little bit of that with Blueprints too, which you didn't. You broke through. You broke the barriers and saw the nature and the nature kissed you on the forehead and tucked you in at night. But there was a bit of me that was just like, oh, there's fucking a lot here and I'm just not sure. But that's also because we play so little. So it's like, I'm not giving myself the opportunity to like, I didn't even do a second day. I didn't do a second Into the Breach run. Like I didn't, so you would naturally get more comfortable and
I don't
understand
even know
things
if
more.
I got through the first run and I thought
of Into the Breach.
Yeah,
you didn't die.
I did not die. So.
I died after 33 minutes.
Wow, hell yeah!
And then I said, "I'm done."
All right, time for a minute.
Yeah, actually, I guess that was my minute.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, here's my minute. Look out!
Let me add to my minute before you start your minute.
Okay.
Here, my last two notes are all caps. I'm fucking blowing it. There's so many people dead. All right.
It's all my fault.
It's all my fault. You go.
Look out, Paul Verhoeven. There's a new Starship Trooper on the board.
Oh.
Welcome to Into the Breach, the latest and greatest from the makers of FTL. No, it's a game that I tried playing years and years ago, and I was like into it. I was into the Breach. But it's... I think the density of information is honestly the thing. And I think I already said it, but I just want to repeat that, like, yes, it's dense, but this game is very steadily being like, it's dense. Learn this. Learn this.
Yeah.
Learn this. And like, because I'm still thinking about our Eternal Eternal Darkness Game Club. And like, why did all the information in that game feel like, what am I gonna have to learn? Like what now? This game provides more information than that game did, but it's in such like just a hey, here, now try this out. Okay, got it. Okay, now try this out, and that makes me want to like tango with the Django. And also there's advanced content toggles, which also is like a very clear, just like, hey, we could make this game a total freak shit, but we're not going to default to that because we want you to learn the video game. Too scary. And I love the limited board.
That's it. Mini Club 2, baby.
Thanks for listening to Mini Club 2. We've alluded to it a few times during the sections. We didn't say at the beginning, but now that you've listened to Mini Club 2, you're going to have to. You're going to have to. If you've made it this far, if you've listened intently to us yelling about these games, come on down to the Discord and vote on which of these 5 games you would like us to cover next for the Game Club. We're going to dive deep. Alon, what else?
That's about it.
Yeah,
Discord's a good hang.
The poll will be available on the Discord
when this is out. It's already available.
It's available. Click on through to the Discord.
Yeah. Click on through to the other side.
Click on through. Click on
To
through.
the other side.
California Zone, Jim Morrison. Sing us out, Jim. And then we play a MIDI version of Riders on the Storm.
Bye.
Bye.